Alright, how's everyone going? Today what I've got for you is a really quick recipe. Had nothing in the house the other day, and this is the only ingredients I sort of had, and I decided to make a frittata. Frittatas, you can chuck basically anything in them. I had some leftover asparagus from another meal and some mushrooms, so I whipped up a nice mushroom and asparagus frittata. Really easy, really quick, and pretty cheap also, so it's a winner all round. Hope you guys enjoy it. So if you've ever eaten asparagus before, you'll know that at one end it's got the nice flour, and at the other end it's got that woody, tough piece. Obviously we don't want that woody, tough piece in any of our recipes with asparagus, so we want to remove it. Quick little tip, easiest way to find out where to remove it from is simply bend the asparagus, and at the point where it snaps, that's a bit where you can throw away the bottom half and then keep the top half for cooking. So just do that to all your asparagus you've got. I've got roughly, I think, 10 shoots of asparagus. If you got more, that's great. You can chop a little bit more extra to put into your frittata. So once we have them all separated from the woody part and the edible part, we're going to set 6 aside, 6 whole ones aside, and then the remaining you've got, just cut them into, say, 3 diagonal pieces like I'm doing now. Once that's all done, we can stick all of our asparagus into a pot of boiling water, and we just want to blanch the asparagus so it's not tough when we eat it in our frittata. So about 5 to 7 minutes in some boiling water. They'll go all nice and floppy, and that's what we want and that we can use in our frittata. While we're waiting for our asparagus to cook, we can start on the actual frittata itself. So just grab a nice large skillet, something that can go into the oven. So you don't want something with a plastic handle that might melt. Something with a metal handle, it holds the heat well, is ideal. So start off by sticking 2 tablespoons of butter into your hot pan and let it melt, followed by a whole onion that we've sliced into rings or half rings, whatever you're up to, and let them cook until they're nice and translucent. And if you're worried about how much butter is, it's okay. When we stick our mushrooms in now, you'll find that the mushrooms will soak up all the flavours and the butter, and it'll taste great. So yeah, put our mushrooms in. I've got roughly 200 grams of white button mushrooms that has just been chopped up roughly, and just cook these away until our asparagus is ready. Once our asparagus is ready, take the chopped up pieces that we did earlier and put them into the pan with the mushroom and the onion and cook it for about 2 minutes, just for the flavours to work through, and we can move on sort of to the next step of the frittata. Obviously the most important part to the frittata is the egg mixture. So what we're going to do is just grab 6 to 8 large eggs, depends on how big your skillet is, and then crack them into a bowl and give them a whisk. Now at this point you can add in some fresh herbs. I've chosen to add in some thyme, it goes wonderfully, and a little bit of salt and pepper, and your egg mixture is ready. We can now rearrange our vegetable mixture we've got in our pan, just so that the bottom of the frittata is going to be a nice flat bottom, and that the asparagus, the onions and the mushrooms are evenly distributed around the pan. Now those 6 whole asparagus that I told you guys to put aside, you can now use these to put them in a sort of a pattern, a radial pattern. You don't have to, you can just chop them up and chuck them in with the rest, it's up to you. So once we've got something that looks something like this, we can put in our egg mixture. Now just pour it over the vegetable mixture in our skillet, and then let it cook on a medium to high heat for about 10 minutes. Depends on your heat, could be less, just so that the egg mixture sets. It can still be a little bit runny, but it needs to set before you stick it into your oven. Continue to check your frittata while it's on the heat. Give your pan a bit of a wobble, and once, like I said, it's set, you can put a handful of grated Parmesan cheese over the top of it, sprinkle it over, and then whack it into the oven, and that goes in the oven for about 5 minutes at 180 degrees, or until the cheese on top is brown. Don't worry if your frittata puffs up, it's just simply the hot air underneath the frittata just rising up. Once you take it out, it'll deflate, so don't worry if it looks ginormous in your oven, it'll be fine. So once it's in there, you can take it out, and the egg mixture should be cooked completely. Don't let it dry out, and slip it onto a wire rack if you're going to let it cool. Otherwise you can slice it into however many pieces you want and serve it with some salad or eat it by itself. It tastes delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and it's a money saver, so it's win-win all round. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.